Alright, Pontefract, what have you got for me? Oh, it's got a castle. That's pretty cool. Robin Hood as well. Might be something worth coming back to there. Anything else though? Anything else? It's reported that Pontefract once held the British record for the town with the most pubs per square mile. And it's not even cited. They don't know. Looks like we're going back to basics.
Hi, I'm Stuart Morris. I'm cycling to every large town near me in order of ascending distance and rating them, with the end goal of reaching Flamborough. This is your review.
It's the return of every cyclist's worst nightmare. Cows! You aren't safe until you pass the cattle grid. This next clip's dedicated to one viewer who I know is watching. You know who you are. Pontefract, sometimes referred to by locals as Ponte Carlo, is a historic market town about 26 miles south of York, lying down the road from Selby. The name Pontefract originates from the Latin for broken bridge, referring to the bridge that was destroyed in 1069 to keep William the Conqueror from beating down an uprising that was happening in York. Museum in here. God, I want a chair like this, and I want it to be next to a lamp like that. I'm currently stood just outside the Licorice factory, and I can't tell you how good it smells here. It's amazing. Of course, it should come as no surprise that the Haribo factory is here, because Pontefract is well known for its licorice fields. There's even a famous poem about it. It goes something like this. In the licorice fields at Pontefract, my love and I did meet, and many a burdened licorice bush was blooming round our feet. Red hair she had and golden skin, her sulky lips were shaped for sin, her sturdy legs were flannel slacked, the strongest legs in Pontefract. Or something like that. Can we find any evidence of the original award? By searching most pubs per square mile Pontefract, we get a few hits. The Pontefract Heritage Group says, "It has been said that Pontefract once held a world record for having the highest number of pubs per square mile." Oh, so it's a world record now, is it? In 2010, the Party Nice blog sent Vincent Krasorkas to investigate, but from the report it seems like he failed to do any fact-checking and instead just drank at the pubs. Madness. Liberty Games has actually calculated the number of pubs per square mile for each borough of the UK. Pontefract is in the borough of Wakefield, so looking at the data, it's 96th. And that's it. No other internet hits for the record and no data to back it up. But Liberty Games looked at Wakefield as a whole. What about just Pontefract? Also, our definition of pub is slightly more relaxed than theirs. We count every establishment which serves alcohol to the general public, including shops like Tesco. The only way to know for sure is to collect first-hand data. The measurement of interest here is pubs per square mile, effectively a pub density. So all we have to do is count the number of pubs in a given area and divide by the size of the area. Great! But which area do we pick? First thought is, pubs per square mile, we'll just do the square mile with the highest number of pubs. But a square mile is a huge unit of area. It unfairly gives an advantage to larger towns. Imagine you have two towns. One is a small town centre but is bursting with pubs. The other is huge, but the pubs are sparsely scattered throughout. Clearly the first town has the more impressive pub density. But if we consider a square mile, we undervalue how dense it is because we're counting so much dead space. And that's not what we care about. We need to consider an area which is more representative of the peak pub density. But we can't go too small, otherwise we skew the results the other way. I have selected a Pontefract region which is a quarter of a square mile in size, which I believe captures the essence of the town centre. For comparison, let's also look at the area covered by the York episode, where we found there were 213 pubs within an area of 0.43 square miles, creating a York pub density of about 495 pubs per square mile. This could be a nice basis of comparison for our Pontefract number when we find it out. Let's go, let's do it! So I thought I'd learn from my mistake. This time I've made a paper map which tells me where I need to go, and this should hopefully let my battery last longer. The problem with this is the battery might still run out, and I'm not in York this time, so if that happens, I don't know if I'll be able to get back. I'm really worried about the battery. I think what I'm going to do is do the areas which I don't think will be covered by Street View, and then do the Street View for the rest when I get home. That way I should have pretty much all the bases covered. It's a noble cause and we should definitely continue it. Wikipedia must be correct. Counting 40 pubs within an area of 0.25 square miles returns a pub density of about 160 pubs per square mile, about 3 times less than York. We have chosen an area to maximise Pontefract's pub density. We have counted things as pubs that no sane person would. We have given Pontefract every chance, and the record still doesn't hold up. But does it matter? So what if York doesn't have enough pubs for every day of the year? So what if Pontefract doesn't hold a world record? These outrageous feats do not define these towns. Losing these titles doesn't take away from the pubs, the nightlife, the culture of these places. There are still a lot of pubs here, each of them bustling with commerce and thriving with life. Now that is something to be proud of. Pontefract tells a story of castles, licorice, pubs, and it has a huge sprawling marketplace, very similar to the Shambles Market in York. It is definitely a high scorer, and I'm giving it a Yorkshire out of Yorkshire. And in a rare double rating, I think I've been too harsh on York. York should really deserve a higher place to allow me to give more things Yorkshire without competing with York. That's why I'm going to retcon my York score into a Yorkshire out of Yorkshire. this video goes live, I will add it as a reference to this page.